Wayne Breezie's in the house. Welcome back. It's the Krueger Show. There we go. People are excited. Like I said, Wayne Breezie's in the house, everybody. See? We got really fired up. We go to the Connecticut Kid himself. Fired up. There we go. He's money. All right, we're having a little too much fun. Larry Krueger with you, the Krueger Show. No, we're not from Scottsdale, but we were in Scottsdale, and we're very appreciative that we were there earlier this month, courtesy of New York-style Italian sausage. And we'll talk more about a New York-style Italian sausage contest coming up later on. But we are also brought to you by Pig and a Pickle, our title sponsor. Check them out in Corte Madera and in Emeryville. They're open every day in Marin. Check them out. Get the brisket. The brisket chili is amazing. Damon and Mary are amazing. And they're open in Emeryville in the East Bay. If you're like me, you live out in the East Bay, get your BBQ out in the East Bay in Emeryville. They're in the Emeryville Public Marketplace. Check out Pig and a Pickle, the best barbecue in Northern California. This is a coast-to-coast extravaganza as we welcome in Wayne Breezie from Connecticut. Wayne, how's the weather in Connecticut? My sister lives in Farmington. We touch base sometimes. I always felt like March is the month that I'd rather be in California than in on the East Coast. But you know what? We're having the coldest damn March. We just had a windy cyclone. We got waves breaking on the Embarcadero. No. It's been a cold March. So what's it like in Connecticut?
So it's weird, right? Because it's cold, because it's no longer winter, right? Because spring started, but you're still getting the leftover cold. And I promise you it's probably going to snow sometime in April. I just got this funny feeling. But it's warm as well, which is cold and warm makes snow. That's why I'm saying it's probably going to snow. So right now it's relatively warm. I mean, it's about 40 degrees, 45, probably max. We had a couple of 50 plus degree days over the past weekend. So we'll see. I mean, it's still cold though. You got to go outside with a coat or you're going to get sick out here.
What's your favorite weather month of the year in Connecticut?
Ooh, probably I would say I'm a June guy because it's not as hot yet. And it doesn't rain as much either. I don't like the rain. I just don't like it. So I'm a June guy. Rain season ends. Summer is on its way to begin. It's the very beginning of summer, June 21st. You get your summer in there. July is the hottest month of the year. I hate it here in Connecticut because that's
really sticky and humid.
You don't like humidity is the worst heat ever.
Bugs.
All the bugs are already out, Larry. It's like they forgot winter existed. They're here.
We got a lot of people saying, what's up? Raphael 562's in the house. What's up, Larry, Breezie, everyone? Look at that. We got the full house today as the room starts to fill up. Kieran Pettiford. What's up, Breezie, with the fire?
Yes.
Look at that. We got people in the chat today. People fired up. A lot to talk about. I am so glad you're here, man. Oh, we got a little super chat to fire away. Terror Dome in the house.
That's my
Did you see the video of Terror Dome dancing the other day?
Absolutely.
I was making the rounds. Terror Dome has got the moves, or maybe might have had a couple cocktails, possibly.
But that violinist was on point. I will tell you that.
Seeing these two together is like seeing my favorite first cousin's mom side with my favorite first cousin's dad's side. Oh, that is awesome.
That's what's up,
Terror Dome. What up, everybody? What up, Terror Dome? Yeah, great Wednesday. A lot to talk about. Good vibes. Wayne Breezie in the house. We've got 10 topics we're hitting in Niner Talk. 10. That's right. 10 topics. And we're going to start with the story of the day, I guess the news of the day.
Okay.
Kyle Posey had this one on Niners Nation. Austin Bryant visiting the 49ers. He was a 4th round pick in 2019. He played on some great Clemson lines, if you remember. I mean, Cleveland Farrell was on that line, or Cleveland Farrell, I should say. Big Dexter Lawrence was on that line. But Austin Bryant was a hell of a player at Clemson. He's now 26. He was a 4th round pick in 2019, 6'6", 280. I remember him at Clemson at more like, maybe like 260, but 11 pressures on 125 pass rushing snaps, this last year. 1 tackle for loss, 3 quarterback knockdowns, didn't have a sack. I mean, Wayne, I'll just throw it to you. Austin Bryant. I mean, I don't want to lead you in any direction. The Niners are looking for
They
what,
need depth.
700-800 snaps
Yeah.
from what they lost from Ebukam, Amenahue, Jordan Willis. They lost some depth. Cleveland Farrell. I'm not a huge Farrell guy. He's good against the run. What do you think of Austin Bryant if they can get it done? It's not official or anything, but they had him in for a visit.
Yeah, it's funny that you said that Farrell. It's pretty good, against the run, and then you bring him in. He was more of a pass rushing defensive end than he is the run stopping defensive end. So it's possible that he doesn't walk out without a deal. I mean, I'm sure the 49ers, they brought him in for a reason. And you got to also keep in mind that Chris Kosera kind of takes these players and kind of revives their careers because he puts them in the right position. And we've kind of seen that with like a guy like Kerry Hyder or Charles Amenahue or Samson Ebukam. These were guys that weren't highly productive where they were. And we traded for Charles Amenahue with Houston. But then you bring him in here, and next thing you know, he's this elite interior, exterior type of a pass rusher, right? You line up inside, can line up outside. I see him more as an edge. That's kind of like what he is. But again, his highlights are from Clemson, period. Like, he hasn't really done much in the NFL. It could be that he was utilized wrong in Detroit, not used, where he played in Detroit. Who knows? But he's here. Why not? We need the depth. Bring him in as a camp body. Probably won't cost too much money. You draft. We'll get to the draft later. You still draft a guy, and if he gets beat out, oh well.
Yeah, I to me, it's like more the merrier. It's like a party. I mean, right now, the Niners like to show up in camp with like 15 good D linemen.
15, bro.
So they're not there yet. They probably need 6 or 7 good D linemen. And if they can get Bryant at a decent price, 4.5 sacks last time he played big time. He played 200 snaps or so with the Lions this year.
Mm-hmm.
It's just D-line depth. I don't think the only thing is, here's the question I would have. I don't know what you think, but Austin, in my mind, Farrell and Bryant are not an upgrade from Amenahue, Ebukam, and Jordan Willis. They're not. So that means that I need something more than that, either a significant free agent or a draft pick.
I like that you said that, because I don't think that those two edge rushers are upgrades over Ebukam or Amenahue. I can agree with you, but why not Jordan Willis? Because if you look at last season, what did Jordan Willis really do? He was suspended. Well, I don't know if he was suspended. I want to say he was suspended for the first 4 to 6 games, if I'm not mistaken. He missed a lot of time for a substance or something like that. I don't remember what it was, but he wasn't there at the beginning of the season. And then when he came back, it was really hard for him to crack the rotation because we were kind of locked in on who we were using. So if you go the year before Jordan Willis, I mean, everybody loved him, punt, block, all these different types of things, that we seen him doing that Green Bay game. But when you look up his stats last year, like, how many snaps did he line up and how many times did he rush? Was he effective? All these different types of things. Yes, possibly, but was it like to a big number to where you just can't replace it with a Cleveland Farrell and another guy? I don't know. For some reason, the 49ers chose to move forward and not bring him back. Or maybe he was asking for too much more money and they have a number. The 49ers have a number for every free agent that they're signing. And if you're not at a certain tier, they're not going to budge from that number. It's probably no negotiation, period. Like, they're probably going to be like, hey, man, I'll give you $1,250,000, $1 million guaranteed or something. I'm just making up some crazy number, Larry. But I'm just saying, like,
no, I hear you. I mean, it's a hard cap sport, and they spent their money on Hargrave.
There you go.
So they had to let those guys go. And it's just the reality of the NFL world. It's nobody's a villain necessarily, but as far as Willis, though, I guess I push back a little bit on you, Breezie, on just that. I did an interview late in the year with Drake Jackson and Lenore right at their locker, and I'm like, all right, give me the guy in here that you guys know is really good, but maybe we don't know is really good, right? And Drake Jackson was kind of being the PC, taking the PC route. He's like naming everybody, and Lenore came over and he's like, just say it. And like, he's like, who are you thinking? And he's like, Jordan Willis. And so they're like, yeah, Jordan Willis. So I just think that Jordan Willis is a guy everybody roots for because he's kind of a quiet guy who's like kind of an unassuming guy. But I like Jordan Willis. I mean, he's 270 pounds and ran in the 4.5s, and you had him coming off your bench.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I like Farrell against the run, and Bryant also gives you another body. He's a little twitchier and I think a little bit better of an edge player. I think there's more upside there, but I don't see like, I think Jordan Willis had big time traits. Ebukam had crazy athletic traits. Amenahue at 260 would really, really, really good. I thought. I mean, to me, he's the guy that I miss the most out of those three.
The most too, Larry.
But you know what I mean? I mean, it's like I just don't see that. I don't think Farrell or Bryant are really as dynamic as the guys they lost. But you know what? I'm not really sweating it because I think there's still a lot of really good edge rushers in free agency.
Bingo.
And who knows? Maybe they're going to go after one of them. Also, I think this is one of the best edge classes I've seen in the draft. So I think the DN spot is, give me a free agent edge rusher that's out there that you would like to see them go after.
I mean, I'm trying to figure out why Yannick Ngakoue is having problems finding a job, because he's been productive just about every season. He's getting you almost damn near double-digit sacks every year he plays. Doesn't matter what the team is. And for some reason, he's still a free agent. Now, his number can be really high. That's got to be the guy that I'm looking for. And if I had to go a little bit older, let's say I'm going to go the elderly route, right?
The elder division.
You get what I'm saying?
And for pass rushers, let's be honest, Niners in the 80s and 90s made a regular deal of getting veteran pass rushers. Why? Because it's a technique-rich position, and once you master the techniques, you can sack the quarterback even as your physical burst kind of wanes as you get older. So I mean, some of these old guys, some of these old heads can sack the quarterback with a lot more regularity.
Yeah, look, give me Justin Houston. That's the old guy that I want. He's still got some bend out there. And listen, it's not like he's starting. The dude just got to come in with 100% of energy and get to the quarterback. Like on 3rd and longs, put him in there, let him do his thing. And if he had to be a starter due to something, like, you got a veteran sack guy that can come in here and get the damn job done. We've done it before. Like I was telling people like on the show, remember Elvis Dumerville? I mean, he was tiny, but he can still get the damn job done.
260, great pass rusher from Louisville. Great pass rusher. Yeah.
You said it. Technique. He knew his technique, and people still couldn't stop it. And so that's how I am. And Larry, I really believe the 49ers after the draft will address the edge rushing position once they figure out how they can still wiggle some money around. I think that's what it comes down to. A couple of more restructures.
The guys like Ngakoue, I think, are going to get paid big.
Yeah.
I like Leonard Floyd from the Rams. Also, just from the standpoint, you're taking him away from the Rams. He's really dynamic off the edge. And because he was a cap casualty, his pick doesn't count in the compensatory formula, which helps them get more picks. So that's a good one. That's in the older division. I'll give you a couple guys that I really like. I like Melvin Ingram from South Carolina.
Okay.
Melvin Ingram, who's been a pass rusher everywhere. It seems like Miami, Pittsburgh, and all these different places. I just still think he can Chargers. He can go after the quarterback off the edge. And the other guy that I think can still do it, who's also in that 33, 34 range, Jason Pierre-Paul. He was with Ravens last year. I know he's got the club, but so he's probably not that good against the run. But no, I mean, Jason Pierre-Paul still knows how to get to the quarterback. And on this line where you've got Nick Bosa and Hargrave and a guy like Jason Pierre-Paul on this line could wind up with 12 sacks.
Oh, man. Yeah, because he'll be getting single teamed.
Right. and he's kind of a pro. So, and he's lost a little athleticism, but he had a lot to lose. So those are the guys that kind of intrigue me. But the Austin Bryant it's interesting. D-line depth. You can never have enough D-line depth.
Yeah. They're going to bring it. I mean, the Niners, you said it earlier, they're going to probably have about 15 guys and 11 will probably make the cut. You know what I mean? So, and don't forget, they're going to draft a guy, maybe even two. Like, we'll see when it comes down to the edge rushers.
Let's get to the next topic I wanted to hit, which was Nicholas McGee on Niners Nation has a whole article out on why Jonathan Mingo, the receiver from Ole Miss, would be perfect for the 49ers. And it's funny because I really like Jonathan Mingo as a player, and I've watched him all year for Ole Miss. And every time I looked at these mock drafts and look at where they have him projected, I'm thinking, why is nobody like Jonathan Mingo as a player? But he writes a whole story about why Mingo's a good fit for the 49ers.
Mhm.
I mean, look where some of these great receivers have come from. You look at DK Metcalf and just all the great, not all the great receivers, but just in the last 4 or 5 years, there's been some terrific receivers coming out of Ole Miss. And Mingo got deep and made plays and is 225 pounds and then went to the combine and ran 4.46. What do you think of that? Of that name? I don't know if you've seen Jonathan Mingo, but
Oh
a
yeah,
great story on Niners Nation.
absolutely. And all right, so I got to be honest. There's several wide receivers that I think can come in here and find a nice spot. So he's Jonathan Mingo is good, but he's probably not the guy that I have my eye on. Like, and if I had to pick a kid, it's a 6'4" kid out of West Virginia. His name is Bryce Ford Whedon.
Yeah,
And
burner
so,
ran like 4.38, and he's
oh my
huge.
gosh, yeah,
6'4",
4.38.
221,
This is
redshirt junior, ran 4.38.
this is the guy to me. I feel like if the
I like that
49ers
one
were going
too.
to
That's a good
draft
call.
another wide receiver, this is the guy. Big guy. I mean, didn't they miss out? They didn't draft you mentioned him a little bit earlier. It was the guy from Seattle. They didn't draft him. And
DK.
so DK Metcalf, well, here's your DK Metcalf like of this draft. Like, 4.38, 1.54 split, y'all. 41-inch vertical, 10.9 broad jump, and his 3-cone drill was under 7. And this is it. Like, this screams Kyle Shanahan all day, every day. He has the physical stature, the physical attributes, the things you want for a wide receiver. Can he block? Well, now you got to go watch film. But this is a good guy that I think could fit. Like Jonathan Mingo from Ole Miss, actually like that. But I think you can get a Bryce Ford Wheaton as well. Probably
What
third.
round are you thinking, Breezy? Are you thinking round 3 maybe, or because
I-
he ran a great 40 time. The collegiate production really is not there. He played in 46 career games,
Yes.
32 starts. He only had 300-yard receiving games, but how much of that was West Virginia having other guys? How
Mhm.
much of that was the Mountaineers committing to the run? He was all Big 12 second team. He did start all 12 games at wide receiver. He did lead West Virginia in receptions with 62 and receiving touchdowns with 7. He was second in yards with 675. I saw him work out at the combine. I was like, wow, this guy is really something. He was moving. I
He's
mean, it's
moved.
one thing to be cooking when you're 188 pounds, but when you're 6'3", 225 and you're cooking, then I mean those guys. I mean, I usually like to see guys who produce at a really high level and then go from there. But this guy's got such traits that it would definitely be worth an investment if you felt like you could coach him up.
And
I don't know how
again,
much he'd help as a rookie, you know what I'm saying?
right.
But down the road, he could give you kind of a more physical Danny Gray. He could take the top off.
There it is. And again, you're saying like, all right, so his college production wasn't there, but this dude is a dog and he's an athlete. And those are two things that Kyle Shanahan needs from his wide receivers. Look, I gotta look at Jonathan Mingo's combine results because they were through the mother freaking charts too. Okay, they were through the charts. He was a little bit slower, almost, a little bit slower, but same split, a little bit less on the vertical jump, same broad jump, didn't do the 3-cone, but he's a strong kid. This 6'2", a little bit shorter, 2 inches shorter, but the same weight, right? And has bigger hands. So that is the key, hand size, because the bigger the mitts, the easier to catch. So Jonathan Mingo, Larry, you might have walked me into something right now. I might be a little bit more in on Mingo over Bryce Ford Wheaton, who I had my eyes set on.
Well, I mean, the one thing about Mingo is just that he's 225 pounds. He's done it in the SEC against better competition.
Mm-hmm.
you know, I mean, if you watch him, he you know, the thing about the Niner receivers, I was talking about this with somebody the other day, and we were talking about what stands out about the 49er receivers. Oh,
I'm here.
What happened? I dumped out of my screen here for a second.
Okay, because
Let
I'm
me
still
see
here.
if I can get my screen. There we go.
There you
There we go. Anyway, but yeah, we were talking about Niner receivers and what separates them from other receivers around the league. And it's Ayuk and Debo and even Jawan. These guys run in the middle of the field just the same way they run on the sidelines. There's no fear.
No
Where
fear.
you watch receivers around the NFL, there's all kinds of receivers who are peeking and looking and tiptoeing through the middle. The Niner receivers run with just great force through the middle of the field. And if you watched Ole Miss this year, Mingo runs those in cutters like he owns the place. You know what I'm saying? It's like he's 225, but he's just rolling through there and with tremendous, confidence that he'll just take any hit that could potentially be out there. 6'2", 225.
Big guy.
Good hands, good coordination. This guy can play against man coverage. He gets vertical. And then he ran 4.46, and you said 10 3/8 inch hands. He's got huge hands from Brandon, Mississippi. He blocks. He's explosive.
Mm-hmm.
Now, he needs route running, help. And I don't know about his exact deep speed, but 225 pounds. And I think he'll probably be there in the middle of rounds.
Big guy, big target. Just throw him the damn ball. I'm curious to see what his catch.
Both those guys would help though.
You get what I'm saying? Like, I'm curious to see what his catch radius is. Like, and that was something that I really got into last year. The catch radius. Like, I'm curious to know what that is, and I'm sure we'll find out soon. But listen, there's a slew of wide receivers. Okay, there's a bunch of them, and I hate to say it, but I think the Niners draft one, and they should, because they're really drafting for the future. The Niners are in red shirt mode and still are able to compete, if you know what I mean. Like, they're able to draft a guy. He can come in, give him some production, but doesn't have to be the man yet. And then a year later, all of a sudden, one guy comes out. It's your turn. It's your time to shine. You step up. You become the guy. That's kind of like how the Niners are able to draft.
Well, we're talking wide receivers. Jets Gang chimes in. He says, y'all should have gave a second for Elijah Moore. He went today to the Browns. Browns were talking Jerry Jeudy and instead went with Elijah Moore for moving. Basically, it was Elijah Moore to move up one round from the third to the second. Pretty good deal, I thought, for the Browns, because Elijah Moore is a stud. I don't know what the hell happened with the Jets, but he's a big-time player. Another guy, Ole Miss. We're talking about Ole Miss receivers. We're going from Mingo to Elijah Moore. What do you think? Niners didn't, by the way, Jets Gang, Niners didn't have a second to give. That's probably why you're not seeing it. And also, the Niners have a lot of needs, and look what they have at wide receiver right now. You've got Debo and Ayuk and Jawan and Danny Gray and Ray McLeod.
That's it.
And I love Tay Martin, the undrafted kid from they got last year. I know he's coming of age. So that's 6 right there. And last I checked, there's only 6 spots. So this receiver they draft better be damn good, or he's going to have a hard time making the roster, to be honest, because it's, they may go with 5. And if they go with 5, who you beating out? Juwan? You beating out Ray?
Right.
Well,
I mean, look, Elijah Moore here would have been slot central. That's his role. Speedy guy. The Jets just didn't have it to utilize him. Didn't they sign McCole Hardman? And so you were like,
today.
Yeah. So they replaced speed with speed, and they feel like they got a better thing, and they were able to get something for him. So hey, the Niners didn't have a second round pick. They actually used that pick on Christian McCaffrey. So I'm actually okay that we did not trade a second round pick that we did not have for Elijah Moore.
Peachy Brown says Tay Martin. That's Wayne's guy.
That's my guy.
Are you serious?
Listen, I don't know.
Big play Tay. You're a Tay Martin guy.
So here's the cool thing, right? Because I'm saying to myself, dude, we got 5 receivers, 5 spots. To me, I don't think they go with more than 5. They may have to go at 6, and they're gonna draft a guy. It's gonna be so interesting to see.
They're stacked at receiver.
They're stacked. They're stacked. Now next year, Ray will be gone. He'll be a free agent. And so now some of your guys can start to slide in, but we're not next year yet. We're still this year. It's going to be interesting to see what they do.
Yeah. We got this one from Jedi. He says, that's LK's guy.
That's LK's guy.
I've been
Big
talking
play
about
test.
Tay Martin. Well, no, it's like I fell asleep on the couch watching Oak State against Notre Dame in a bowl game.
Yeah.
And, it's like I was just so comfortable. I was like, you know what? I'm just going to sit here and lay there and watch this game. And he dominated, man. And in the second half, he totally dominated. He made every big play. The guy had 3 touchdowns, 109 yards. Notre Dame still hasn't covered him. I joked with him about it in an interview I did with him earlier this year. Guys can go check that out on YouTube. But yeah, they called him Big Play Tay. He started at Wazoo. He transferred to Oak State during the pandemic because he just wanted to make sure that he kept playing. Remember, they were debating Breezie who was going to play. Was the Pac-12 even going to play? He wanted to make sure that he played. So he transferred to go play, and there in Stillwater. And you know what? He had a great year and then was so awesome at the end of the year. He was like their go-to guy. And then in the bowl game, he dominated Notre Dame with 3 touchdowns. So I was thrilled when they got him. Now he's 6'3", long arms,
big guy.
and he's a little thin on the chest. Like I guarantee, I don't think he did any lifting, or if he did, it was like he got a really low number. So he's a little deficient upper body strength. All right. And he doesn't run the greatest 40. I mean, it's like, he's more like a solid 4.55 guy. He's like, he's maybe even 4.6. He's not a burner by any stretch, but he's 6'3" and has great ball skills. And to me, that if you want to say, give me a surprise guy in Niner land who's going to show up this year and ball out, I'll take Tay Martin, especially with Brock Purdy. If Brock winds up being the starter, Brock's accuracy, Tay's, to me, the catch radius of Tay Martin, talk about radius. That's what made the Randy Moss, Tom Brady thing so intriguing. Brady was so accurate. Moss had a massive catch radius.
There it is.
Purdy's very accurate. Tay Martin's got a huge catch radius.
Here it is.
So watch him emerge.
His only issue is just trying. Like, all right, for Danny Gray, you couldn't put him on a practice squad. Somebody probably would have picked him up, and he would have been gone. But watch him do his thing. Just watch. And he works out with Debo and Ayuk and all those guys too. So it's going to be really interesting to see the 49er wide receiver battle. And if they bring in a guy, it's going to be even more interesting. So this is going to be great. Like if they draft a Jonathan Mingo or Bryce Ford Wheaton, it's going to be very interesting. And don't sleep on the kid from Michigan. I know people be like, who? Don't sleep on Ronnie Bell. He can move the chains. That's what he does. He moves chains. That's what I want for 49ers. First down.
Yeah, smaller receiver, 6 feet, 191 pounds, but
slot guy.
Kansas City kid, I believe. He's from Kansas City.
Yes.
And just a really, really productive football player. And I think a multi-sport athlete in high school. Ronnie Bell was very productive for the Wolverines, no question.
Very productive.
Haruku Itoki says Jerry Rice's 40 time was 4.71. Who knew?
That clock had to be wrong, right? Like that was a busted clock, right? There's no way Jerry Rice
ran away from everybody forever.
There's no way he ran a 4.71, right?
He definitely did. He definitely didn't with the ball in his hands. But I will say this: there are many guys who run faster with the ball in their hands. Rice was one.
Yes.
Terrell Owens was one. You know
why though? Because they didn't train to run the 40.
Yeah. Exactly. Now everybody's working on all these drills, so these guys are all better at it.
Usain Bolt coming in and getting you to line up. They're getting trained. Right. Even the big guys, the big fellas, they're getting trained how to get in their stance, how to come up. That's all training now. Back then, Jerry Rice got up there and probably just went as fast as he could, standing up or something.
Exactly. Stopped halfway for a ham sandwich. All right. John Feliciano signing this week. Feliciano to me is interesting. This guy, first of all, his story, you could do a movie about this guy's life.
Love it.
I mean, and he's just really, he's faced a lot of tragedy, and his mom's beaten cancer a couple times, and he had a friend who died who, Feliciano is just his house was condemned. I mean, he had to move out of his trailer. He had to live on the floor of his friend's house. I mean, he was an amazing story before he ever got to the University of Miami. Then he goes to Miami. He gets drafted by the Raiders. He emerges as a really solid center and guard. He says he's way better at center. The Niners signed him. He played last year with the New York Giants at center. The Niners had already re-signed Jake Brendel, who was a Pro Bowl alternate at center. What's your read on John Feliciano? This guy, you could sit there and go, depth, but you know what? He's not depth. This guy's a starter. He's been a starter in the league. So is he there to compete with Brendel?
No.
Is that an indication that Burford is kicking out to right tackle?
Could be.
That's what I'm reading into it. What do you think? What do you think of the Feliciano pickup?
So let me say this first of all. That's kind of what I want it to be. Like, I want that to be the narrative. Maybe last year it was Burford learn how to play guard, learn how to play right guard. This year, Burford, you battle. You're a tackle. I want you to battle with Colton McKivitz. Either way, Colton McKivitz would be better at the swing tackle, and then you go ahead and put Burford at the right tackle, and then you start John Feliciano at right guard. Listen, he is a veteran offensive lineman that gets down to the nitty-gritty, and run blocking is kind of like his thing. He's not pretty bad in pass protection. I would love to see what he does here in San Francisco with Chris Forster, but this guy's a starter. I think that's what you said. That's what he does. He's a starter. It's going to be really interesting to see. Now, he's a wild card piece because you can utilize him, at least to me, Larry, two positions, guard, center. Wouldn't play him at tackle. I feel like he just doesn't have the measurables to play tackle. But if he had to play it for a game or a play or something like that, possibly he can hold up. But his arms are just not that long to be a tackle in the NFL, right?
No.
To get that push off, right?
But I mean, in a pinch, you might be able to play him at right tackle. I mean,
exactly.
This guy's just a tough, smart, versatile offensive lineman who can play. 54 career starts in 97 NFL games. What I like about him is just, if you watch him, he's just a wide body, guy who's just, if this is the replacement for Brunskill, that's a major upgrade from Brunskill. He's 31. He was a 4th round pick out of Miami. 3 seasons he played in Buffalo. And his best position is center. Yes. And just a guy, to me, 6'4", 325, which is a big bodied guy. They call him Mongo. Supposedly he's a chef. He makes a mean chicken parm.
Yeah.
But what I loved, I saw an interview with him, and he's like, I've made some money. I've been in the league, and this guy's gonna, he's a veteran. This guy's been around the block. He's like, right now, I'm just really all I'm about is just, I got to win that Super Bowl. And I like guys who are in that spot in their career where it's like, hey man, I've made some money. I've played on a number of teams, been on the West Coast, he's played on the East Coast, played in New York, played in the Bay with the Raiders. And, when you get to that realization that, hey, you know what's really missing is I don't get the ring.
That's it.
I like to have 5 or 6 guys who are like extraordinarily passionate about getting the ring, because I don't think you don't back into it. You don't luck into it. You know what I'm saying, Breezy? You got to have guys who are all about it. And it's like, so it's all about it. Even though it's a lot of guys in your room, you're trying to hand pick guys who you think can go get it. Because ultimately, you're going to have one shot at it next year. I want some guys who are playing with some desperation, guys who are playing, I'll play hurt because you know what? I think this is my shot to get that Super Bowl ring.
Yep.
I like at least 5 or 6 veteran guys in the room like that. Maybe this guy's one of those guys.
And look at what they're doing with the offensive line. I mean, they're bringing back guys. The continuity is there. They're bringing a guy that's probably not going to struggle in building continuity with the other guys. He's a vet. The one thing he knows how to do is play football. He's done it several years. So opposed to drafting a guy and then him having to learn the system, learn the language, learn this, now it's going to be a little learning curves for him. Kyle Shanahan's playbook is probably complicated, but I tell you what, he'll come out there, and I'm telling you, the thing that I love about John is that he nasty. Like he's a mean mother sucker from outer space. I'm excited to see what he brings to this offensive line. I'm excited to see what he brings in camp.
Yeah, this is the kind of guy that's going to brawl with somebody in camp.
Thank you.
I mean, I could see a
Get your
what
videos ready,
it's
Larry.
fast
Tag me
forward.
in
We're
'em.
brewing now. Fast forward. Welcome to the Krueger and Breezie show. Instead of March 22nd, it's July 22nd. Everybody. All right, Breezie. Let's talk about the story of the day.
Let's
Yeah,
talk
John
about
Feliciano ripped Javon Hargrave's helmet off and threw it at him today. Breezie, what'd you think?
hey man, Mongols do what Mongols do.
I can. He's so easy to picture. All right. Once again, we are brought to you by Pig and a Pickle. Check them out in Corte Madera and in Emeryville, the best barbecue in Northern California. Let's switch topics here. Let's go to the other side of the line of scrimmage. We're talking interior. Let's go interior on the D line. Is it time to buy into the future of Javon Kinlaw, or is it time to sell Javon Kinlaw? They brought in Hargrave. They have Armstead. They're a little bit fortified now. They re-signed Givens. They've got some bodies inside. What's your play on Javon Kinlaw? Is Javon Kinlaw a guy that get him healthy, get him right, get him coached up, put him in a rotation, hope for the best? Or
This
is
is
he a
tough.
guy that, you maybe could trade for another player who's similar to him? I threw out Mekhi Becton, but Noah Igbenogany with the Dolphins is in his category, first round pick. Probably didn't have the 5th-year option picked up. Clyde Edwards-Helaire is in that mix with Kansas City. They're probably going to shop him around the draft. Same kind of deal as Kinlaw. How do you play your Kinlaw card if you're Lynch?
It's tough, right? Because former first round pick just hasn't really been healthy enough to kind of pan out for anything. You do know he's pretty great in run stuffing, but as of lately, he just doesn't have it. Now, I will say that I don't know if I want to sell, and I definitely don't want to buy yet. I think the 49ers are at the point where they're going to test, put them on the trade block and see what they get, and see if anything is feasible worth trading. Can Javon Kinlaw come in here and just be a rotational piece, something that they've never asked him to do before? You've upgraded the defensive line like by 1,400 billion, right? You've upgraded. You got probably one of the best interior pass rushers in the game, right? If not the best, right? You've upgraded. Where does he fit in? Rotation. So maybe the rotational role for Javon Kinlaw will be enough fire to light under his ass to make sure he finds a way to keep himself healthy, keep himself fresh, and be productive. Because when he gets rest, he's able to get you a nice stop in the backfield. He's able to make those type of plays. It's not your sack type of defensive tackle, but I guarantee you, if he's on that line and Eric Armstead isn't there, and you got Javon Kinlaw out there with Hargrave, he should be able to get to the quarterback in the discussion. Like, he should be able to get to the quarterback. So it's going to be very interesting. I wouldn't sell him unless there's an offer that's going to say, you know what, we'll cut our ties and we'll recoup some type of a pick maybe this year or in the future. If so, then then that puts the 49ers in a bind, because now that means that they need to either draft a player to develop or go get another free agent in which you named. So it's going to be very interesting. Do you keep Kinlaw? He's already here. I definitely don't think he gets the 5th-year option. I think that goes to Brandon Ayuk, and then they work out a deal next year for Brandon Ayuk. But I think Kinlaw might be the player that's on that trade block. They're gonna see what they can get for him, and if not, I think they bring him back, bro. They bring him back for a year of rotation. Why not keep a guy that already knows the system? For me, that's what I would do.
Yeah, I mean, it's tough. Terradome says Kinlaw, like Luther Vandross used to say, it's over
Over
now.
now.
It's over now.
It's not over till it's over, though.
Andy Warrington, Kinlaw is a bust.
Possibly, yeah.
Um,
It's tough.
Yao feel me. Kinlaw was a weird pick from the get-go.
It was just that we traded Buckner, and you just wanted instant production. But I really think, Larry, that the kid that they wanted, where did he go? Oh my gosh.
That year?
He went to Carolina. Jonathan Brown. That's the kid. I think that's the kid that they wanted. I think that's his name.
Who are you talking about? What
Defensive
position?
tackle for the Carolina Panthers. What's his name?
Jonathan Derek Brown.
Derek Brown. That's
Yeah,
who they
well,
want.
I wanted him too. He's the SEC Defensive Player of the Year.
I don't think they thought Carolina was going to take a defensive tackle. I think that's kind of what it came down to. And I think Kinlaw, if you look at all the other defensive tackles, I don't even know if they still play in the league from that
I know.
draft.
It's a tough. That's why it doesn't bother me that they went for Hargrave for big money because, man, it's hard to handicap the defensive tackle market sometimes, and it's just difficult. Jason Walsh says, "Yeah, doubt anyone bites on Kinlaw. If not, they'll keep him." Get this one from Jan Chozela. Teams will give a fifth rounder at best for Kinlaw. Yeah, I think if you're trying to get a pick, I think you get a fifth, but you never know if there was somebody who wants to, who believes in his talent. A lot of people, it's all you need is one guy to believe that, hey, you know what, we liked him coming out. We've got a player that fits in that category. But I think if I'm John Lynch, if I could get something for him, I just don't know that he's going to be happy playing on this team if he really is in that kind of a rotation.
Good
I mean,
point.
maybe I know he's very close to Armstead, so maybe he'll be there happy because Armstead's there. But I mean, you got Hargrave, you got Armstead, then you got Javon and Givens and Kalia Davis, and they re-signed T.Y. McGill. And the draft hasn't even happened yet. So to me, they need help at defensive end because it's Bosa, Cleveland Farrell, Drake Jackson, Alex Barrett, and that's it.
That's it.
They probably could use 2 or 3 more defensive ends, but I don't know. You always need defensive talent, defensive lineman depth. So it's like if you trade a defensive tackle, you're going to probably need more talent in that spot later in the year. So it's kind of like, why bother?
Yeah.
But I don't know if Kinlaw's going to be happy if he's playing very, very. I mean, I would play Armstead and Hargrave almost all the time inside if I could.
Hey, I mean, you're right. And so they may look to move him. That's why I think he's the one that's on the block. I just, if the 49ers can get some production out of him in his last cheap year of his contract, maybe they do it. Maybe they keep him. Maybe they feel like it's cheaper to keep him. And then whatever production they get. And then he enters free agency next year.
Niner guy for life said I wanted Tristan Wirfs that year. Yeah, I did too. The Iowa kid. Peachy Brown says, see, I was going to say, baby, it ain't over till it's over, like Lenny Kravitz said. I like Lenny Kravitz. I met Lenny Kravitz one time.
Yeah.
Interesting guy, yeah.
I was going to ask you, was he interesting? Funny how I was going to ask you, was he an interesting guy? He just looks like an interesting guy. Like Prince was an interesting guy. Like some musical artists are interesting.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I liked his music. I thought it was pretty good. I think he's like a Beverly Hills kid.
I don't know. He's just interesting.
Yeah, I think Lenny Kravitz. Okay, John Feliciano, we hit that. Javon Kinlaw. Oh yeah, I wanted to ask you about this one.
Ooh.
Niners worked out Terrell Smith, or not worked him out, but met with him. And Justin Mello had the report. Great report. And I went and watched film on Terrell Smith. I really like him. Minnesota cornerback, probably going to be a day 3 pick.
Okay.
Is there somebody that they have worked out? And I have the list here.
Yeah.
Is there somebody that they've worked out that you're like, yeah, man, that guy, they're on? Because, here's the thing. Teams can only work out so many guys. They can only meet with so many guys. Sometimes they're meeting with them because they want to kind of clear it off their, clear guys. They want to make sure that they have a good feeling about a guy, but they don't necessarily like the player. Just because they're meeting with them doesn't necessarily mean that they like them.
Good point.
But a lot of times I'll give you some of the guys that they have met with that are interesting to me. Tell me what you think of this list.
Okay.
Julius Brents, the corner from K-State, big, tall corner from K-State. They met with him. Thought that's an interesting name. One of my favorite players in this draft, maybe a replacement for Azeez Al-Shaair, Mikel Jones, the linebacker from Syracuse. They met with him. He's an undersized guy, but they're going for these undersized linebackers right now. Marcelino is the latest. Who else that was kind of interesting? Oh, here's one that is really good. You got to check out film on Dawan Johnson, the defensive lineman from Toledo.
Okay.
Who's like He's like 6'3", 275. He's played inside, but he's also played defensive end, and he's just crazy,
Sounds like a
crazy
49er.
workout. Mingo's on this list.
Yep, Jonathan Mingo.
We'd mentioned that before. Who else? Who else is on the list? That's interesting. Tank Dell, the wide receiver who caught passes, the deep threat for Clayton Tune.
Yeah.
I think to me with Danny Gray, they've got the deep speed they need, but Tank Dell sure was a freaking productive deep threat for Houston. My God.
Deep threat, slot guy, intermediate route. He just runs routes. So I got a chance to meet with him at the Senior Bowl, and I thought he was the best wide receiver there. Now, I know Jalen Reed from Michigan State was there. They had other wide receivers, Xavier Hutchinson from Iowa. I just felt like when Tank Dell's on the field, he found a way to get open. So I think for me, that's a guy that can get open. I kind of really like these. I like him. He's tiny. He's really tiny.
A couple other guys that really caught my eye. Demario Douglas from Liberty, the wide receiver. Yep. I mean, crazy body control, stop, start, return guy. This is like the Billy White Shoes Johnson. I mean, you can't. This guy's got juke and then more juke.
Mm-hmm.
You think of the Kansas City guy that came from the Giants in the first round, Kadarius Toney.
Kadarius Toney, gotcha.
Kadarius Toney's just got crazy stop start. You can't catch him. You can't. You know what I mean? Demario Douglas from Liberty. They met with him. He's like that. Viliami Fehoko. I did a deal earlier today with Eric Froten from NBC, a draft analyst, former scout, and we went through the defensive end crew, and he brought up Fehoko from San Jose State, who was really productive. I think he was the Mountain West Defensive Player of the Year.
Okay.
So he's interesting. Zach Pickens, a defensive tackle from South Carolina.
Right. Now we talking.
Really like him. 310 pounds.
I really like Zach Pickens. There's two players that I like, and they both from South Carolina. So
who's the other one?
Darius Rush.
So the corner.
So that's my crush. Like I want Darius.
Both those guys. Those are good. Those are good call there.
Yeah, I want Darius Rush at the next corner, outside corner guy. No disrespect to Diamador Lenore or anything like that. But again, you're drafting for the future. Mooney Ward's contract will be up shortly. I mean, I know he restructured, but listen, this could be that type of replacement like in a couple of years. So you're drafting for the future. That's what the 49ers do. Darius Rush, really good man corner. It's a guy I like.
I do. That's a great call. Maybe he has a future at free safety too. I mean, he can play both. He's got a big body. He's fast. Oh. Yeah, that's a great call. A couple other guys they met with that I really love. This Adetomiwa Adebare from Northwestern.
Okay.
He's just his film is crazy. His workout was crazy.
Somebody that stood out, like who? First of all, I'm sitting in the stands and I'm saying, I'm like, who the beep is this kid? Excellent motor, 0 plays off, and kept creating pressure. The kid's he's a freak. You saw it. You saw it at the combine. So if you didn't get a chance to watch
what position though, Breezie? Is he a D end?
Yeah.
He's 280 and super fast. He doesn't have
I don't care
pass rush moves, but he's just such a freaking crazy athlete.
He's fast. He can
strong as hell.
Fast and listen, go get the guy. Just go get him. He can learn moves. He'll be with Nick Bosa. He can learn some moves. And he'll be with Chris Kosaric. He can learn a move or two.
He's awesome. Yeah, no, seriously. I saw this guy in practice. I was like, he just plays. He's got the most functional strength you're ever going to see. He just plays low. You just no stopping him. I mean, he just bull rushes 320-pound centers like it's me.
He has zero moves. But the strength
of an ox.
There. Here it is.
This guy's it's crazy. I watched him. I couldn't believe the one-on-ones. I've seen one-on-ones where guys beat other guys with quickness and first step. And I've seen guys get bull rushed, but usually it's like kind of a gradual thing. This guy can convert. You want to talk about the convert speed to power?
Straight out of gate.
This guy can convert speed to power, and you just can't. He's just the greatest bull rush guy I think I've ever seen. I mean, it's just crazy. Crazy.
I just want, if we can get him here. If I had to, there's no way
That
we
would
could
be the
trade him.
guy.
Yeah,
That would be the guy.
that's the guy.
Yeah.
That's the
You
guy.
got to coach him up because he's really just going to bull rush the tackle. But the thing about it is,
Larry,
bull rushing the tackle would destroy the other team's line.
how many times have our tackle been bull rushed?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm not going to mention any names, but you know what I'm talking about. And so, what's the problem? You have a young kid that could come in here and just utilize his power. I'm not saying he needs to start. I'm just saying he will be a piece that you can build off of for a very long time.
He's a problem, as they say. He's a problem for an offensive line. I mean, heck, he's the guy that might do the impossible and give Bosa one-on-one blocks.
Bingo.
I mean, this guy's he's something. JL Skinner, 6'4" safety from Boise, who tore his pec in the workout. Probably a day 3 steal, Breezie. You're talking about a guy who's probably, because of the pec, probably isn't going to be ready to play until halfway through the year. That'd be my guess. But he's a 6'4" safety who moves effortlessly, great in the zone, really natural athlete. I like JL Skinner.
Yeah, and and the good thing is, like you said, you won't need him right now. Yeah. And so if he's there in the 3rd round because of the injury, pick him up. There's 2 players I would pick up that are injured that are going to be on the NFI next year. And one is a guard from USC, Andrew Voorhees.
Yeah, who got hurt in the bowl or the end of the year, right?
Yeah, they got hurt at the combine.
Oh, the combine. That was it. Yeah, he went down to the combine. Yeah. Jair Brown's on their list of guys they met with from Penn State. He was the MVP against Utah in the Rose Bowl. I don't know if people remember that, but that guy can play, and he's got great measurables.
Yeah. I didn't think his combine was all of that, but he can play football. Like, trust me, I'm a Big Ten guy. He can play football.
Darius Rush. They met with Darius Rush.
Just saying. Yeah. He's on that list for a reason.
He's special. Riley Moss from Iowa.
Okay, so
what do you think of that kid?
Why not?
Why free safety maybe?
Free you can put him at corner, you can have him at free safety.
Slot.
He is a baller. I want all these guys.
Iowa's terrific team. Okay, here's one that's really an interesting discussion because they have Trey, they have Brock.
Who you got? Is it Dorian?
They have Darnold. But they did work out DTR.
Dorian Thompson.
And here's the thing. I'm looking the other day, and I like to keep my eyes on everything, right?
Yeah.
And I see Chris Sims list his top quarterbacks.
Don't tell me.
And he had the top guys. He had the couple of the top guys, and all of a sudden he threw in Hendon Hooker.
Okay.
And he threw in DTR.
Listen,
in his top 5. I like DTR quite a bit. I watched an awful lot of the Bruins. Their offense was unstoppable at times. When he's a rhythm guy. When he's in rhythm, he looks like as good as almost any college quarterback I've seen. And he's 6'2", 6'1 and a half, 210 pounds, really athletic. I like DTR off, I like him as a passer. I like him as a runner.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think he's going to get drafted, but
really,
I like him as an undrafted guy, or maybe even a 7th round guy. Dude, I think he's a late day 3 or undrafted guy. I don't think he's going to be high day 3.
Yeah,
because there's just a lot of guys. But
he's a 7th round pick, and
I like DTR.
So clearly, that's the quarterback that I want. And I think we draft the quarterback. Why not?
You like DTR?
I do. He's the guy I'm mocking every draft. Like, that's the kid that I want to be a 49er. He's efficient. You guys know what that means.
Well, I mean, he knows how to play. He's played a lot. The other couple of tight ends, Sam Laporta, Zach Kuntz, Josh Wiley.
Yes. Cincinnati.
Couple of other interesting guys. Jaron Hall, the BYU quarterback, who's kind of mobile. I mean, if you watch him, he's interesting. And then they also worked out Keaton Mitchell, who's just a burner, really fast running back from East Carolina. Played for the East Carolina Pirates. And then I'll tell you a couple other guys they worked out that I really like. Christian Young out of University of Arizona, defensive back, and Payne Durham, a tight end from Purdue. Really like both those guys.
That's my tight end crush. So look, do I want Sam Laporta? Yes. Are we going to spend to get Sam Laporta? I don't know. He may be one of the top tight ends off the board. But Payne Durham can do all those things. He's a red zone threat. I don't know if you guys like to score touchdowns in the red zone.
He's like Dallas Goedert.
He's like that. What a comp, bro. That's a comp.
He's 6'5". He's got, he's
speed
good,
sucks.
good hand-eye coordination.
Yeah, he doesn't need speed. He can get open. Like that's the thing. That's a beautiful comp, bro. Beautiful comp.
Okay, there's a couple guys you got to look at that I don't know if you've looked at these guys. These guys are deep dives, but you got to look at them next time we get together. Tell me what you think.
Okay.
One is Habakkuk Baldonado, who's from Rome. He played defensive end for Pitt on the same line with Kalijah Cansey.
Okay.
But his film is pretty good. It's really interesting. Then there's a guy named Boogie Knight.
I'm drafting him just because his name is Boogie Knights.
His name's Boogie Knight.
I promise you.
He played for Louisiana Monroe.
I don't care where he played for. I'm drafting a person or a player named Boogie Knights.
I want to get him on the show.
You got to get him on the show. And
I want him on the show. Boogie Knight.
I got to be phoned in so I can sing Boogie Night.
No, I'm telling you. I'm not even screwing with you. Boogie Knight is his name.
That's cool.
All right. So that's our little segment on the draft. Who would you, if I say right now, we'll finish with this on the draft. The draft comes. You're like me. We like everybody. Or we like a lot of different players.
Right.
Give me the one guy.
Give me Cody
that
Mauch.
You can have one guy you can add to this football team.
I want Cody Mauch out of North Dakota State, man.
You want Cody Mauch, the offensive tackle.
He doesn't know this.
North Dakota State with a gigantic gap in his teeth.
Yeah, I'm in love. The moment that the moment I saw him hit the field and not get bullied by anybody at any position. He played center, left, right. He was everywhere and won Senior Bowl Player of the Week. Like, at the end of the day, I'm saying to myself, this kid's going to be a problem. It may take him some time to get acclimated to the football power, the speed, all that good stuff. I tell you what, this kid is tough. He's rough. He's gritty. And I feel like the 49ers offensive line can use that, right? They can use that. I miss those Alex Bone, Mike Iupati type of offense. I know it's a different offense. I know it's a quicker offense, small offensive line, but this kid is not that big. He's 300 pounds, but he's a little light. But I really think he can come in here and my friend, can possibly start at right tackle over Colton McKivitz. I like day one, he'll probably come in here and beat him out. I just feel like he's that guy. And he played with Trey Lance.
That Adi Tamiwa out of Barre is tough.
I know.
I'm a big Kalijah Cansey fan. I just feel like Kalijah Cansey is going to be a star. I would be willing to trade up and give you almost anything you wanted for Kalijah Cansey.
Kalijah Cansey is the new and improved Aaron Donald. That's
but I'll tell you, for the Niners, I really, and I love, and the way this draft plays out with all the incredible edge rush talent. I mean, I'm a big fan of Tyrus Wheat from Mississippi State. Yes. I like Ali Gay from LSU. These guys are all going to be day 3 guys. There's all kinds of day 3 exciting players. In my mind, the difference makers, like I'm thinking, what's going to change the dynamic of the team? What's going to make the team like a significantly better team?
Okay.
And I just think that there's really, obviously the quarterback makes the big difference, but they're set at quarterback. They've got who they've got. And I like their guys. Receive, then you're thinking D linemen, like guys who could maybe, and they could use an edge rusher. But I mean, I don't think Isaiah Foskey would fall to them. I really would like that kid. He's a local kid from Antioch, played at De La Salle, Notre Dame, very productive. I think Foskey in a lot of ways. I like both the Notre Dame guys. I like Michael Mayer and Foskey. And I would really try to get either of those guys. But the other name that is just absolutely, I'm lingering there and I'm like, you know what? This guy would change the way teams defended the Niners is Jahmyr Gibbs from Bama. Really? And I know they've got incredible depth at running back. They don't need Jahmyr Gibbs at all. I mean, but this guy is just an absolute star.
Can I just say
he is an absolute star. I just think he's going to be a great, great player.
You and I have not spoken off the air about this show. The first time I heard about what we were going to talk about was right before we clicked record. I've been on different platforms, and I think on Reddit, I had wrote a piece about your guy that you just brought up,
Jahmyr Gibbs.
Jahmyr Gibbs. I wrote a piece, and I know Bijan Robinson is the guy. Like, I get it. He's got the build, he's got the size, he's got the speed. There's just something different about Jahmyr Gibbs to where I felt like he's probably going to be the best running back in this draft. He's not just a running back, though, so he could do all the things Christian. He's just like he can catch, he can run routes, he can get open, he can block. I know he's a smaller running back, but I really like this kid. I don't know how he would crack this lineup, but if you had Christian McCaffrey, Jahmyr Gibbs would easily be number 2.
Just throw him the ball and just swing it out to him.
See what I'm saying? Just he easily, or he could
swing it out to him 5-10 times a game. I mean, the guy's got big playability,
and he makes people miss. There it is,
a superstar. Yeah, this guy's got superstar ability.
Yeah,
and he's gonna go. Maybe not even in round 1. I think he's probably gonna wind up going in like the 30s, late 30s, maybe 40s, something like that.
Philly's gonna draft a running back. I'm curious to know though.
You think he's going in the first round?
I don't. I think Philly drafts a running back. How many? They got 2 first-round picks, right? 3, something like that. They got a lot of first-round picks.
Yeah, anyway, I think he's going like in the mid 30s,
possibly, unless Philly chooses him over Bijan Robinson. And if I'm Philly, I would. But if Philly wants that Saquon Barkley type of a running back, because that's what they deal with when they play the Giants twice a year, they may just go Bijan. But then he'll end up going to a different team. So you're right. Second round, early second round.
I could see the pushback from. I expect to hear pushback from the Niner fans because, look, they drafted Trey Sermon.
Yep,
didn't make it. J.P. Mason was undrafted. He made it. Shanahan's got a great eye for undrafted free agent talent. I get it. And believe me, there's a bunch of guys in the draft, after the draft. I love the kid from Tulane, Tajay Sharp. There's a bunch of running backs out there that are really exciting that won't be drafted. The kid from Tulsa is a hell of a player. But you know what? Jahmyr Gibbs is like a superstar. I think, and to me, that's when do you really start to win championships? When you have, Mahomes, when you have Tyreek Hill, when you have Travis Kelce. So not every swing's got to be for like somebody who fits your team perfectly right now. You could go for a guy like Jahmyr Gibbs, even if you have other backs, and then just watch him become a all-pro back or, become a dynamic weapon. I mean, what made Philly so tough, I thought, was that they got A.J. Brown and they got Devontae Smith and they've got Goddard and they've got Miles Simmons and the other running back was a hell of a back, Boston Scott, and the other running back behind him was a hell of a back.
The kid from Memphis, shit.
What was his name?
The little guy, Kenny
Gainwell. Gainwell. Those guys are all badass. So I mean, that's the thing. You have McCaffrey and Debo and all these guys, but man, name of the game is speed and big playability. And if you want to help Trey Lance become a star, give him Jahmyr Gibbs to dump it to in the flat when all else fails, and the Niners are going to win a boatload of games. That's you want to help out your quarterback. There's lots of ways to do it. Have a great defense. Have a great left tackle. People talking about Trey Lance. Got to get him the tackle. Got to get him the tackle. Brock Purdy. Got to get him a tackle. Get him another weapon they can dump it to at will. Jimmy Garoppolo looked pretty good just throwing it, looking around the field, seeing if he had anything. Oh, he doesn't have anything. McCaffrey. Boom. Just do that. Except share the looks with the other guys. I don't know. That's my thought.
I think your thought is really spot on. I mean, give the kid his type of weapons. And so I'm with it. I'm all for that, but I just, how do we get him?
I know. Well, he's gonna, you have to trade up. You have to trade up somehow, some way. What about this one? The Bengals have Jonah Williams, the offensive tackle. By the way, Corey Soda said, if you hadn't derailed his career, who would you take in their prime, Bosa or Aldon Smith? I'm going Aldon, regardless of the JS effect, 44 sacks in 3 years. I mean,
Yeah,
Alden
but
Smith was
it was set
incredible.
up different for him though, right? So because we also had Justin Smith, so I don't think Alden Smith would have been as productive without Justin Smith because the way that they spun it was like a masterpiece. Like it was perfect. And this is not a take away from Alden Smith, but Bosa's a transcending player, and I know he doesn't have the amount of sacks that Alden Smith accumulated over his time or his tenure or whatever. He didn't set the record, but Bosa's definitely trending up and on his way. And I mean, they're throwing double teams at him every single game, sometimes triple teams, and he's still creating pressures. It's something about Bosa. Alden Smith was the man, but remember how it was set up. You had Justin taking on these doubles and him running around and finding a crease, and he just had the. I don't even know if he had enough speed, but it was his arms, it was his freakness ability, which is why you like the kid out of Northwestern, right? Like they have freakish attributes.
Yeah. I mean, that was a great draft pick. I know
Hell yeah.
I know he didn't bomb. I know he bombed out. So people go, great draft pick. He bombed out of the league. I know, but I'll tell you, as far as just you're looking for guys who can play, and he could really play. I remember I was standing there in training camp, his first training camp, and I thought, wow, look at this guy. He was just ridiculous. Bosa was a little bit more of a technician, but Alden's, at his greatest, Alden was equally unblockable. And
Yeah.
Alden had the best frame I've ever seen for defensive end. I mean, just
That
huge
3-4
hands,
defense,
long
man,
arms,
long arms.
strong
Yeah. He's
leverage.
a problem.
Oh, he was awesome. He was awesome. All right. This one. Should the Niners trade for Jonah Williams? The Bengals offensive tackle is rumored to be traded. He's a left tackle. They just signed Zeus Brown. So they want him to play right tackle. He got abused this year at left tackle. He gave up a ton of sacks, a ton of pressures. He's not really a left tackle. The problem is left tackles make more than right tackles, despite the fact teams flip-flop their rushers all the time in the league. But the left tackle position has a cachet about it. Left tackles typically make more. Jonah wants to make more, so he wants to stay at left tackle. They're obviously not – they only want him as a right tackle. They really want to trade him. His issue here would be the same issue we would have there, but maybe here, because there is Trent Williams, who is kind of established as the preeminent left tackle in the sport. Maybe Jonah would be willing to play right tackle. I don't typically like trading picks for players unless I'm getting a great deal. But this is a tackle, and it's really hard to find offensive tackles. And it's like, how much confidence do you have in McKivitz or their ability to find somebody on the free agent market, scrap heap like a Tom Compton, or to find that right tackle in the draft? This is a tough one. This is a big question. This is one of the major questions that faces the Niners this spring. What do you do at right tackle? Would you try to trade
Nope.
for Jonah Williams?
Absolutely not. I stay away from it. If he doesn't want to play right tackle, you stay away from him. Just like Taylor Lewan didn't want to play right tackle, you stay away from it, right? They don't want to play there. So why bring that negative vibe even here? And I like your story. Maybe he see Trent Williams, and maybe he see Trent Williams, and maybe he still wants to play left tackle. At the end of the day, I really feel like there are guys in the draft that could potentially be better than him. And I said potentially because we have to see. We have to see them develop. So I think if I think the 49ers honestly are sold on who they have in camp and what they're going to draft. And listen, last year, let me just remind everybody out here. Last year, we had to put out an Aaron Banks that we've never seen play. We had to put out a Jake Brendel that we've never seen play. And you had to put out a Spencer Burford that we never seen play. Let's flip-flop now, because now we're here. Now, Aaron Banks has played. We've seen him play. Looks like he can do pretty damn well. Jake Brendel was a Pro Bowl alternate. Looks like he can do pretty damn well. Spencer Burford, pretty damn well. It's just one position. And Colin McKivitz, when he came in as a swing tackle, he was fine. I mean, he played better on the left side. So it's going to be a work in progress for him. But listen, it's just one position. And it's not going to get the quarterback killed, right? I know what we saw. It's not. And so I feel like Colton McKivitz is the guy. You pencil him in, you bring in some talent, and you make him work at it. And then there's a guy on the roster named Leroy Brown. I'll rule out a kid named Leroy Brown. Listen, we'll see what he could do once camp hits. So I think the 49ers are pretty much steadfast and not spending any more money on that offensive line. That's just kind of how I feel about it.
I agree. I like to me I like the Illinois kid Palszewski quite a bit. I like the kid from Tennessee Chattanooga
Yes.
quite a bit.
Yeah, I know who you're
Curtis
talking about. Yep.
McClendon Curtis, I think his
Clinton
name
Curtis.
is.
There he is. Yep.
I think he's got some talent. There's a few guys in this draft that I really like. And with Feliciano, they're fortified inside. They definitely could use that tackle, but I don't, the Feliciano signing takes a lot of pressure off of them because I think there's a chance they could kick Burford out to right tackle. And if they do, Burford and McKivitz sharing right tackle or some combination thereof, who knows? I do like that. I think there's quality depth there. All right, let's finish with these last three. What'd you think of the Brandon Ayuk tweet? That was kind of the cryptic tweet referencing rockets and all kinds of. What did you think of? What was Ayuk? Define what Ayuk was trying to say for those of us who didn't speak emoji.
Very, 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 very well. So the rockets to me is a sign that says I'm trending up. And so that's to all the people out there that are doubting that he's a top-notch wide receiver. Because if you look at all these lists, the PFF lists and all these lists, you're not seeing Brandon Ayuk up there. So what he did was he said, "Hey man, I'm a 1,000-yard receiver as a fourth option on a run-first team." He mentioned some artists inside of there that nobody probably knows. I think it was Lil Baby, the baby, a baby, have a baby, half on a baby. I don't know. he mentioned artists that I don't listen to, but like he finished it off.
You're not a DaBaby fan?
I don't even know who that is. Like, you know what I mean? But at the end of the day, Larry, he was just letting the world know, like, I still did this. Like, I'm still here. Y'all gonna have to put some respect with a K on my name. And just think about it. I mean, 1,000-yard wide receiver in this offense. Let's go through the options, bro. Go through them. Debo, Christian McCaffrey, George Kittle. Those are your three options right there. That has to share what Brennan has to share his workload with. And I didn't even mention all the other guys that are, entered into this offense. So listen, Brandon, just keep doing what you're doing, keep rising. What will the 49ers do with Brandon Ayuk? That's a whole nother conversation. I don't think will they trade him? I don't know. I hope not, because he's definitely a number one wide receiver. He's the best route runner that we've seen in a long time. Brandon went from, try to physically get himself open to now out routing people. Like, you thought I was going this way. Sorry, catch, and then turn it up for yards. He doesn't have that breakaway speed like a Deebo Samuel to run it and outrun the whole team, but he's a special human being, man. And I really think Brandon Ayuk is going to show off, man. Look for those numbers to go up, maybe 12 to 1,500 this year.
I hope they don't trade him, because in my opinion, he would be the best receiver in this draft. He's 6 feet, but he's got long arms. He's absolutely fearless going over the middle. I think he's reminding everybody that there's a reason that he only has the stats he has, because there are so many other guys. I love the guy from the standpoint of I know he shows up to win. You know what I mean? And those are the guys I want on my team. I want guys who show up to win and don't really care that much about the stats. They want to get paid, but they don't really care that much about the stats. Finish this sentence. Javon Hargrave will be what?
An all
with the 49ers.
Hold on, I got you. An all mother pro.
Nice.
Again.
All pro.
All pro.
I think he's going to have 13 sacks.
Bro, all pro. Like, whatever it takes to be that. I mean, just listening to him in his interviews, like, he's ready to suit up. He's mad that they lost in Philly.
Right.
He's ready to come back out. He's a dog. He says that he's going to play with dogs. Dogs like dogs. And it's going to be funny. Dogs make other dogs better. I just can't wait to see what he does here. I'm getting excited. I'm sorry. I don't know if you like that on your show, but I'm just like,
I do like that.
Oh,
no, he's a pass rusher, man. What I love is just that you got when you have, it's kind of like adding. It's like really exciting in the NBA when you add a great player. Why? Because there's only 5 players on the floor,
Right.
and
Good point.
on the D line, when you add another guy who commands consistent doubles, that changes the whole dynamic of the rush. And so to have Bosa and to have Armstead, who both commanded double teams and combo blocks pretty much at will, now you're adding a third guy in Javon Hargrave, who also commands doubles. It just, I mean, if I was a defensive end free agent, I'd just show up at the Niner complex with a pen and a contract. Hey, I'm here. Oh, I wrote a contract for myself. It's pretty reasonable. Check it out. Let's see if we can get this signed.
Yeah.
Why? Because anybody who plays on this line, Drake Jackson, Austin Bryant, Cleveland Farrell, anybody else defensive end, fill in the blank, is going to probably get close to double-digit sacks, and they're going to get a ton of one-on-one.
This is listen, he went from, and he said it. He said, listen, I'm going from this defense to the number 1 defense. That's what he said.
Yeah. He's like, I couldn't believe the Niners were interested.
I can't believe they were. I'm going from this defense, which was great. I mean, the most sacks, most pressures, most everything, to the number 1 defense. And he can't wait to play with Steve Wilkes. It's going to be very interesting. It's going to be a really, really good, interesting season. Because if you know Steve Wilkes like I know Steve Wilkes, it's going to be some nice looking, blitzes going on. Something that we haven't seen much of. Hufanga is going to have the career year of his life. I could feel it. It's going to be
he's going to be up on the line of scrimmage, and that
all the time.
They're going to go a heavy cover 3, I think, and that's why this kind of deep middle player is it going to be Gibson full time? Are they going to draft somebody? That's going to be interesting to watch too. But Hargrave, I just love the durability. We've dealt with Kinlaw and so many injuries up front, and it's like, hey, you know what? Hargrave plays. The guy's missed 3 games in his entire career. Really, really excited about that one. All right, let's hit 2 in the chat, and then we'll get out of here. We got this one from Gold Blooded.
Mm-hmm.
He says, hey, Krug, hey, Breezie, question why hasn't Poona Ford been signed yet? He's a monster in that middle. I love Poona Ford. I don't see it happening for the Niners, but man, that would be a great pickup. I love Poona.
Can you imagine adding him? Like, what would you do? Would this be dead?
I would trade Kinlaw then for sure.
I mean, I think right now you're not seeing these guys get signed, though, Gold-Blooded, just because of the draft is on its way. And right now, no one's probably going to want to spend money when they can possibly get a kid, for less money. And then they'll see how their monies are working after the draft. And 9 times out of 10, these free agents will still be available, and they'll make an offer. I'm telling you right now, the 49ers are making offers that are just the lowest offer they can make. You want to win a championship? You want a shot at the championship? Here's your offer. You come here, you win it. Like, they spent who they wanted to spend on, if that makes any sense.
One last one from the chat. Jets Gang says, Zach Wilson is a backup. This is from early in the show. I wanted your thoughts on what you think happens to Zach Wilson. It sounds like Aaron Rodgers is going to the Jets.
Really?
Well, I mean, we don't know if it's official. It's not official. But, I mean, all the indications are he says he wants to play.
He says he wants to. Yeah, that's like, how do you bring him back to Green? How do you bring a person back that says they want to be somewhere else?
And also, haven't they've already signed Alan Lazard and some of his teammates. I think everybody thinks he's going to the Jets some point.
He had a wish list though, Larry. So there's only one more person on his wish list that he wants. So that means I guarantee you, if the Jets get OBJ, Aaron Rodgers is on his way. Like, I guarantee you. Like, I don't know why they would need OBJ, but if they get him, because that's what Aaron Rodgers wants, then you know why. I could see Odell Beckham Jr. going back to New York, rubbing the New York Giants face in the sand as a New York Jet. I can just see it. That's like what we do.
OBJ, yeah. OBJ can join Rodgers. I saw OBJ's workout though. Yes. He looks like he's put on a lot of weight in his upper body.
Yeah.
I mean,
his frame is bigger, right?
He just looks pretty yoked up. Yeah. I don't think he runs all that fast. We'll see.
He can still get open, bro.
Like, he can still get open, and then he's got the ball skills for.
Yeah, that's what it comes down to. As you get, and they signed McCole Hardman for speed, so he wouldn't be utilized at speed. It would be like, hey,
What
Ryan,
happens to Wilson?
see, that's what I'm
Does he
nothing.
stay there as the backup to Rodgers?
There's no
That seems weird, doesn't
that,
it? And then if he doesn't stay as the backup to Rodgers,
or he does stay as the backup to Rodgers and learns how to play football. Like that's the ideal thing, right? You bring in Aaron Rodgers. I feel like Zach Wilson can do Aaron Rodgers-esque type of things if he learned how to play. And so you let him sit, which is what rookies typically should be doing in the first place. You let him sit.
look who's in the house.
Raj in the house.
Raj. What's up, Raj?
The great one. That's what I call Raj, man.
Raj is a force of nature.
We got an
Okay.
R&B show coming up next.
Who was the guy who got left off in the Niner, content creator deal?
Raj.
Raj.
Yeah.
Breezie, did you get left off too?
I got left off too, and it's all good.
That's not all good.
I'm happy to root for who's on there. You're up there, so that's all good.
All right, here we go. I just lost a Grant. Last question. Who is your favorite, present company excluded, who's your favorite Niner content creator? Who's the person that you would have winning that thing? If let's just say there was no such thing. Like, somebody asked me about it the other day. And I said, as a kid, where my dad used to take us and I loved it. And he's like, where? I'm like, Baskin Robbins. Why? He's like, I'm like 31 flavors. There's 31 flavors.
31
and,
flavors.
you could get something different every time. I used to love the Rocky Road.
Yeah.
With the almonds in it. And, the marshmallows was so good. But that's what I think about the Niner content creators. It's just a lot of different flavors. There's a lot of different opinions. And I think it's all great.
It's tough, man.
But if you could only have just the one content creator, Raj says Brandon Ayuk's better than OBJ. Oh, hell yeah. No doubt.
I'm not arguing that one, dog.
Raj says, appreciate you, Krueger and Breezy. Thank you, Raj.
That's my guy. I mean, I'm okay. Like, all right, to the list, I'm okay if I'm not on it. I'm still.
You should have been on it. I mean, there's people that
I'm a newbie.
There's people just passing through that were on it.
I got you, but Raj should have been on there. And honestly,
Raj definitely should have been on there because Raj is a force of nature. I don't think people understand that Raj is coming. Raj is the guy that's coming that nobody sees coming.
Yes, he's the secret weapon, right?
Secret weapon,
the heat-seeking missile.
He's
right?
like, he's got like in the the baseball players, they all had the juice, but Barry had the better juice.
Yeah,
because he was getting it from Victor Conti.
Yes,
Raj is like the better juice.
Yeah, if y'all don't watch baseball, y'all missing out. All right. So my top three, right? And I know I have to narrow it down to one. So for the people that it would have been you, John Chapman, and Raj.
John Chapman.
Yes.
From Austin, Texas?
He's from Texas. He lives in California, but he is from Austin. You guys.
Oh, he lives in California. I thought he was teaching school in Texas.
SoCal. He's in some sort of.
Oh, he's in SoCal. Okay. Yeah. Okay.
So
yeah, I've been on with him. I've done stuff with Chapman.
Yeah, those would have been my top. You guys would have been my top three. Now, I guess I'll have to pick another one. And
wait, me, Chapman, and who?
And Raj. Raj should have been on that list. Like he literally.
Raj.
Like I know he might be new to the spoken world on YouTube, but the motherfucker puts out content before it even comes out. Like that's a gift. That's a gift.
Like on my birthday, I call Raj to find out, is tomorrow the day? And then I find out, yeah, tomorrow, Krug, is your birthday. Then I'll be like, okay, Raj had it first. You know what I mean? He's like Schefter.
I'm like, damn it, Raj, can you just like go to sleep for a little bit longer? I mean, I'm on the East Coast. The shit should come out here quicker. Y'all in the past, right? Or in the future, or whatever. You know what I'm trying to say. But Raj is on it, so I'm surprised he wasn't on there. But it's tough, man. I can't pick.
I know. There's so many good ones.
It would be you against John, and then like Raj against like Brad, and then however.
But there's a lot of good ones, man. I mean, like Matt Barrows is really good.
Yeah,
How
but
do you
see,
how do
I
you go
feel
against Matt Barrows? He's been covering
because
the team forever.
yeah, but I feel like that should have been a whole different category.
I know.
Like, you know what I mean? Like that should have been a whole different category. Like the Matt Mayoko, those guys, it should have been a whole different category. And probably you should have been in that category because that's what you
Seriously.
do. Radio show, all that. That's a whole nother level of content creating. You know, that's you the guy that I look up to because I'm trying to get where you are at one point.
Oh, come on, man.
I
Now
promise.
you're gonna make me blush.
Hey, but you better blush on because I'm dead ass serious.
Chrissy says Breezy's my favorite.
Oh,
Now
thank
people
you,
are
Chris.
voting here. Yao says Vish.
Vish is excellent.
Yeah,
Vish
come
is
on,
amazing.
Vish. Vish is a force of nature as
He's
well.
amazing. He knows a lot of stuff. But there's too many. You shouldn't
Khalil
even do
says I'm
it.
the OG. That just you know what that means. It's like
I do.
I got gray hair.
You the original, yeah.
Too much salt and pepper.
Original gray.
We got this one. Slick. It would have been Crocky versus Breezy in the finals.
Croc is that's my guy, yo.
Peachy's giving some love to our girl Tracy.
Tracy?
How come Tracy Sandler was left off? Yeah, seriously. Tracy's outstanding.
There's a lot of people left off. A lot.
Sean says, I've got a good motor. Thank you.
You do. You do.
Oh, man. But you know what? Somebody said Lombardi.
Not bad at all.
I voted for Grant.
Not bad at all.
Raj.
Hey, not mad.
I mean, look at this. I mean, that's it. Mayoko seems like the Russ Wilson. He's got his corner office at the stadium. He might be a little tied in at this point.
I feel like he's like the godfather of all of the content creating.
Well, he's got the big platform on cable, but it's interesting. That platform is doing horribly. Now, I'm not trying to curse Matt or anything. I'm not saying he's the reason. No, yeah, you just saw Bally just went under. All those regional networks, because it cost a boatload to televise a lot of the sports, so they're spending money. But then I got cable, right? I got like 5. I probably pay a ton for cable, but my kid doesn't have cable. He's like, Dad, I'm streaming everything, and everybody who's 25 or younger has cut the cord.
Yeah,
right. It's streaming.
Yeah,
so that's killing the NBC Sports Bay Areas of the world. They're just dangling by a thread. They're not spending any money. They have no money. They're going out of biz. It's just a matter of time. So I hate to say it, even though Mayoko is got kind of like the catbird seat, I'd much rather be Grant than Mayoko today. Grant owns his own deal and he's got 62,000 subs and growing and making good money. Matt's working for an entity that is asking him to, send. I mean, I'm sure he's doing great, but you know what I'm saying? It's like,
man, guys, just to let it
kind of, we all get dragged down if we're in the wrong deal. If we're in the wrong medium. I mean, I love radio, but radio's is struggling compared to with all the. I mean, look at the podcast world. People have the smart dash. They get all these options. It's never going to be the same. It's kind of like when cable came versus network television. The radio, let's say, was the equivalent of network television. Mm-hmm. Now the radio's on par with every podcaster and everybody out there. So it's kind of an interesting world.
Very
interesting.
I'm glad you was able to break some stuff down like that for everybody out there. They don't know really what goes on behind the scenes. A lot of stuff, right?
There you go.
Yeah.
Khalil Young says Larry's pregame show with Lo Neal is fire. Thank you. Lo Neal is just has to be. He's a force of nature, man. Have you ever had Lo Neal on your show?
No, man. I'm not good at getting people on the show. I don't know how to ask. I'd be scared to ask people.
No, come on, Breezie.
I gotta get bigger balls or something like that so I can,
get last one. And we're an hour and a half in. We're gonna end it right here. Terradome says all both are game changers. The NFL is coming to YouTube for a reason. Y'all lead dogs, not lead the dogs. I hear you, Terradome. It's true. I mean, YouTube. We just went to an Airbnb in Scottsdale when we went down for spring training. They didn't have cable, but they had streaming, and they had YouTube TV, and we're sitting there watching YouTube. Basically,
YouTube TV is taking over, bro. Like YouTube is taking. I mean, excuse me, it's not YouTube, guys. It's Google. So Google's the GOAT. Like they own everything. Remember, Google bought YouTube. That's why I couldn't get my account back. Anyway,
That's why I was demonetized. Maybe I'd have that. We got this one from Ricky. Cable sports fee is expensive. Forced to pay it. Yeah.
Yeah. But it has to be expensive because if you listen to what Grant just said, I mean, think about it. Like adults pay for cable, but what about all the other? What about their kids? Their kids are either mooching off the cable or they're going to go stream it online and watch it for free or something. You know.
Yeah. Mr. Joe, what I like about Grant is he's not an ass kisser. Yeah, I kind of like that about Grant too.
Grant's cool guy in my
I don't
book.
like ass kissers.
No,
I'm not one. I don't like them.
No. There's no reason why you should be kissing anybody's ass. Like, you know, unless it's the one you're with.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
You're right, honey. My dad told me that. He's like, hey, have you tried You're Right, Honey?
That's it.
It might work for you. Terradome, exactly, Krug. The game has changed. Y'all running this town tonight.
Yeah, that's a lot of creators.
Shout out to Jesse.
Jesse's in the chat, man. What's going on, Jesse? We got
Jesse. No doubt, Jesse. I think Jesse's phenomenal. Breezie, you're a first round talent, bro. Just ask.
Appreciate that, Jedi. I hear you, man. It's just never
GTC Reels, Larry. You're in a good space. Shout outs. Stay away from the mainstream media. It's biased. R.I.P. the Razor. That's a radio guy in town. I don't know if you probably don't know the Razor.
I don't know. I'm not familiar with y'all radio because I'm on the East Coast, so I have to listen to it on the app.
Now people attacking Lombardi. Lombardi's an ass kisser. You know, come on. He's a good guy. He's
a hard worker. He's out there grinding. Everybody.
I'm the one who gave him his shot, man. I put him on the Stanford pregame show because I could see he was a hardworking guy.
Nice.
He's solid. Now him and Grant don't get along or whatever in the past, but you know what? I think everybody gets along just fine. You know, here's the bottom line. We all benefit from one another because it's different. Everybody's kind of in a different deal, doing a different thing. So that's why I really enjoy it, and I hope people enjoy it as much as I do.
Yeah, it's Baskin Robbins out here, man. If y'all don't know what Baskin Robbins is, you better go ask somebody because it's 31 flavors, baby. It's funny because I think I go in there and always got the same freaking flavor every time because it's just what I liked. I forgot about the.
What do you go with?
I'm just I'm so easy, bro. It's all about strawberry ice cream. I don't know why I don't like anything else, but it's strawberry. And
that was my favorite as a kid.
Yeah,
I love strawberry. Always, and they had those real strawberries.
Real strawberries and ice
Come on.
That are like ice chunks, which make it even, and they're hard to eat. But the strawberry,
so good.
Yeah, that's just who I am.
So good, and then you get the texture of those strawberry seeds in your creamy ice cream.
I didn't know we relate like this, bro. I'm trying to tell you, man. Listen. It's the easy flavor. You shouldn't be able to mess it up. Now, there's some bad versions of strawberry ice cream, but that's just my go-to.
Black or Chide 772. I love Baskin Robbins banana split.
Never had it. Strawberry.
Here's a good one. Chrissy says chocolate mint. My sister used to get that.
Terradome
says I'm a vanilla bean guy.
Now, see, that's plain Jane right there. I thought I was bad. That's super plain.
Look at this. Mimi B says pistachio nut is the king of ice cream.
Mimi. That sounds good, actually.
You know what I'm going with? I'm going with the Rocky Road. You had the almonds, the marshmallows, and it was just this extra. It seemed like it was like a little different, little darker, richer chocolate than like the chocolate ice cream that you would get there. Yeah. I got to think the Rocky Road is maybe a little bit different. I don't know. I used to love the Rocky Road, man.
I never knew I never knew why they called it Rocky Road. Peanut butter chocolate. That sounds like it goes well together. That's like eating Reese's peanut butter. Reese's Pieces.
Ooh, here we go. Here's this one.
Okay, so that's
cookies
classic.
And cream with the real Oreos.
With the real Oreos. Yeah. So this is the other classic flavor for me. And if I did anything with the nuts in it, it would probably be the maple walnut ice cream.
Okay.
Maple walnut. Ooh,
here's one. This is a local person. Aspiring Audio Philiac 86.
Yes.
Once you go to Fenton's, Baskin and Robbins is unnecessary.
I believe you. I hate chain places.
That's worth a clap right there.
Yeah.
Fenton's. You got to try Fenton's. It's in Northern California. It's incredible.
Say less. When I'm out there, we going to Fenton's.
Go to Fenton's. There's a couple spots. I think one in the East Bay. The food's real basic. Like, Just
I'm not
real
going to an
basic.
ice cream place for food. If you told me to go there for ice cream, I'm going for ice cream.
It's an ice cream place. I mean,
Yeah.
they have a thing called the Black and Tan, and it's just this mountain of ice cream, and it has like I think you know what's really good ice cream too. If you mix it in with like vanilla, chocolate, and all that,
Hell yeah.
is like a coffee ice cream. The coffee ice cream, it has a little bit of coffee ice
Sounds like
cream.
it's gonna keep you up all night too.
Ooh, the Black and Tan. Breezy, this has been incredible. One last story I'll share with you.
Cool.
We're talking ice cream. I'm doing an interview of the Hibachi,
Okay.
Gilbert Arenas. This is years ago.
Yes.
And I'm like, Gilbert, he's like, yeah, Krug, I'm back in my hotel room after the game. Now, we went on until midnight. He's like, we talked about the game. He's a rookie. I go, what's your regular routine when you're staying in? I go, we don't, not when you're going out, but when you're staying in, what's your routine after games? Because you're a young guy. I don't even think he was 21 yet. He's like, yeah, I can't go to bars yet. And he was like, well, we're all laughing about that. Yeah, right. He's like, yeah, I like to play video games, and then I usually go down to the local grocery store, get a half gallon of ice cream, and eat it, and then I crash.
Mother freaking! It must be.
And I was like, dude, if I did that one day, I'd be dead.
I'd be a half a gallon.
Half a gallon of ice cream, play video games, and crash.
Well, so one 35 years ago, maybe when we played sports, but I don't even think I ate ice cream like that. You know how much sugar is in a half a fucking gallon of ice cream? But they burn it. Basketball players burn way more energy.
Yeah, I'm like, you're just lucky, man. Wow. Nobody. If I did that for 2 days, I'd be done. You'd be at my funeral. AJ says, "What is the NFL content creator competition?" Oh yeah, it was just a guy on Twitter. Forget exactly who did it, but somebody put it on Twitter and kind of attached a bunch of us. But it was unofficial. Breezy should have been on there. Let's just say that there were some people that were clearly overlooked. So anyway, no harm, no foul. But anyway, it was fun to see that many people. How many people actually cover the 49ers? If you decide to cover like the San Francisco Giants, Breezy, you'd be like one of like 3 people. Seriously, you take over that space, you dominate.
Yo, the 49ers,
it's just like nobody's there.
They're the most popular. I know they got to be the most popular team. Look at all the content creating. You go check out Dallas, who's supposed to be America's team. There's there's not that many.
Wow,
there's not.
I would say if you say most popular teams in the NFL, I'd probably say Niners, Cowboys, Patriots, Steelers, maybe.
Steelers, yeah, top 4, and then maybe
who else? Maybe New York Giants. There's a population in New York.
They've been around for a while. They had the Purple People Eaters, so a lot of older people were with the Vikings.
Green Bay, maybe Green
Bay. Yeah. Now I want some mother freaking ice cream, and I haven't had dinner yet.
Breezy, you're the man. Hey, I'd love to come on your channel. I know while we were supposed to set that up, I'd love to do it, but we're talking about maybe doing a regular hit Wednesdays at 2 p.m. Pacific.
Let's ask the people every Wednesday, 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 2 p.m. Pacific Time. We'll alternate channels. So next week we'll be on the Wayne Breezy channel. That's cool.
Yeah, absolutely.
So just tell your subscribers to come on over there if they want to watch you, and my subscribers will make sure they come over here and subscribe to you.
I like it, Breezy. Hey, man, I'm going to let you go. I'm going to play a couple spots here and just roll through a couple chat, and then we'll get out. But, Breezy, thanks for your time, and you're the man. And I would have voted for you.
Jump on to our SF 49ers channel at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We're doing the R&B show, baby. It's going to be really fun.
It's 49ers. You and Raj.
Me and Raj.
What time?
7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
So 15, like about 13 minutes from now.
I'll be cutting it close, baby. Let's do it.
There you go. Check out Raj, and we'll get out of here and send everybody there. Go check out Raj and Breezy, top of the hour. Breezy, you're the man.
You too, bro.
Take care. There you go, Wayne Breezy. I just like his vibe, man. Good content, good guy, a lot of fun. Terradome said it best. Love these guys. Yeah. Raj is awesome too. Raj is really terrific. I do a deal with Raj Mondays at 1:00 Pacific. He is phenomenal. Love Raj. I just love his enthusiasm. It's not, it's not so heavy. He's not angry at anybody. I like the different flavors. Raj is a different flavor than some of the other guys. I like that. And especially on Monday, I'm looking for kind of an upbeat, like, all right, here we go. Raj gives that to me Monday at 1:00. So tune in for that and catch these guys in about 12 minutes. All right, I got a couple last thoughts, but first let me tell you about our title sponsor, and that's Pig in a Pickle. Love Pig in a Pickle. Check them out. They're in Marin County. They are in Corte Madera. Open 7 days a week, 11 a.m. to 8 p.m. The brisket chili is amazing. They run out. They do run out. But try the brisket sandwich. You got to try the brisket sandwich. The potato chips cooked in beef fat are absolutely amazing. I usually go potato salad, but the collard greens are incredible. Absolutely incredible. Check out Pig in a Pickle. You're going to love it. If you're in Northern California, go there right now. Like right the second. Get in your car and go. And if you want to know what it looks like from the outside, take a look. We're also brought to you by Telmetrics, TELMETRIX.co. Check it out. It's a great place you can go if you need to rehabilitate an injury. You don't want to go to urgent care or the hospital, but you want a great resource for you to lean on to help you rehabilitate a shoulder injury, an elbow injury. Telmetrics.co. Once again, TELMETRIX.co. And welcome back to the Krueger Show. We're also brought to you by New York Style Sausage Company. Man, I love me some New York Style Italian sausage. They've got every kind you could possibly want. I mean, seriously, the mild Italian, the spicy Italian, the chorizo, the breakfast sausage. It's all incredible. I had some basil and garlic sausage the other night. It was fantastic. They do a Louisiana hot link now. Just incredible stuff. And you can get it, in the casing, or you can get it individually packaged. Check it out online, NewYorkStyleSausage.com.
So New York Style Sausage was started over 70 years ago. We are the largest producer of fresh Italian sausage on the West Coast.
What makes our sausage in New York Style is really the recipe came from back east, from New York, from Connecticut.
If you look at all of our labels, there's maximum 4 or 5 ingredients, which we're really proud of.
There's no preservatives, no MSG, fresh in, fresh out.
The pork comes in fresh, goes out fresh. There's never any freezing throughout the process. We've always used fine quality cuts. We're never going to deter from that. It's one of the reasons why our sausage is so good. I guarantee you put our sausage up against anybody else's from a flavor standpoint, no one will beat it, hands down.
Hey, do yourself a favor and do me a favor. Go buy a package of the New York Style Italian sausage. Guaranteed you will love it. Guaranteed.
All right, coming down the home stretch on the Krueger Show, check out Breezie and Raj in about 7 minutes. 15,675 subs. That's where we're at. So if you're in the chat and you've yet to sub, please do hit like and subscribe. It helps the algorithm have more people find us. And then, of course, hit subscribe, and you can hit the notification bell, and you'll be notified every time we go live. And we appreciate it. We're cruising towards 16,000 subs right now. And we're channel's only a year old. So we really have a very appreciative of the audience, because you guys have helped us get to 16,000 subs in a short amount of time. All right, let's hit one last round through the comments. And I've got some here. Let's see. I've had some that I starred. Let me check out the comments that I've starred. All right. Jose Pepe had one early. He says, let's get it this year, Niners. Yeah, I think that's the Niners approach every year at this point. Just get it. Just absolutely get out there and go for it, because they're as good as any team in the conference. Terradome at the end said, blessings and success to you both. Anytime someone throws a blessings, I got to star that. Mimi B. Good show. 100. Bang, bang. All right. I like that. Michael, people say talking about Brock Purdy, is close to his ceiling. I disagree. Can't get taller, but the arm can get stronger and other skills can be improved. What he has can't be taught. Michael, you're an intelligent fan. Clearly, you're right. The idea that he can't get better is ridiculous. The biggest improvement that anybody shows in an NFL career is year 1 to year 2. So expect Brock to be significantly better. Now, his situation is a little different, because now he's had an injury, and you wonder if in any way he's diminished from that injury. And it's possible. I'm not going to sit here and tell you it's not possible. It is possible. He could be diminished. He could not be the same player. So we're really all kind of holding our breath that he gets that arm strength back. But if he does, he's going to get bigger, stronger, faster. He's going to get more knowledgeable about this offense. His timing with his receivers is going to get much, much better through all the added reps and knowing these guys and knowing this offense. And I expect Brock Purdy to get a lot better. We've got this one from Mimi B. She says, Raj is positive. Yes, he is. I like that about Raj. Mimi B. Darn, Krug is making me hungry. Sorry, Mimi. Michael Monahan, wish they had Pig in a Pickle in Queen Creek, Arizona. Yes, you do. And I can't promise one is coming there shortly. But when you're here in the Bay, check it out. Val Ramos said Pig in a Pickle looks fire. And from having a 13-year-old, I know that's good. Peachy Brown says, you are awesome, Krug. She says Krueger, but she meant Krug. Can't wait to watch the weekly shows. Thank you, Peachy. Appreciate you. Jedi says, LK a dog, just saying. If you had ripped me, I wouldn't have put it up there. Sean Ferris, Krug sounds like a dude who can tell you multiple detailed stories about engine trouble, and you'll enjoy it. I'm going to take that as a compliment. That is awesome. That is awesome. Marcus Harris, still waiting for the Niners to make one more splash signing. Ooh. Marcus, who you want? Who you want that splash signing to be? Frank Clark? Leonard Floyd? I'd love Leonard Floyd. That would be huge. I'll tell you the other one that I really like, because I did an interview with him once, and I know he grew up a Niner fan. He would love, love, love to be a 49er. And he's told me as much. Is Leonard Fournette. Did an interview with Leonard Fournette before the draft coming out of LSU. I said, hey, where do you want to be? Bunch of teams showing interest. Where would you like to be? And he's like, well, there are a bunch of teams showing interest. But man, I want to be a 49er. I grew up rooting for the Niners in New Orleans. I'm a lifelong Niner fan. So maybe Leonard Fournette. I mean, the one thing about Fournette, if you were going to add one back to, if you said to me, you can add either one receiver or one running back this off season, I would probably say I'll add one running back, because you've got Debo, Ayuk, Jawan Jennings, Ray McLeod, Danny Gray, and Tay Martin, who is really a really good young receiver in the wings. So you got 6 receivers. I think you're pretty good. at receiver. Now you're loaded at running back too, but Case 49 says Fournette's too slow. Yeah, he probably is. But you know what? As a dump it off in the flat guy, I think Leonard Fournette would be pretty phenomenal catching the ball out of the backfield in this Niner interview. We got this one from Val Ramos. Didn't the Niners interview someone today? They did. We talked about it early in this live stream. They interviewed Austin Bryant, visited them today. We started the stream with Austin Bryant. Maybe we'll finish with Austin Bryant. Yeah, 4th pick overall, 2019. 6'6", 280, 26, so he's young. That's good. Former 4th-round pick. Finished last season, he had 11 pressures in 125 pass rushing snaps. It's not a great ratio. He had 1 tackle for loss, 3 quarterback knockdowns. He played on the same line with Aiden Hutchinson, but I don't know. I haven't studied Austin Bryant. To me, he seems like he'd be nice for depth. He played 207 total snaps in 9 games. The Niners are down roughly 800 snaps, I think, from the 3 DNs that they lost. So, maybe you get 200 here from Bryant at a reasonable cost. Maybe you get a couple hundred from somebody else that you draft. Maybe you sign another free agent or draft a couple guys. But I think that's kind of the approach. I think they're going to try to try to go on the I don't see them going for a Ngakoue. Even Leonard Floyd, as much as I'm rooting for it, I just don't see it. I just don't see them spending that kind of money. And especially when you have such a ridiculous good draft class coming up. All right, that's going to do it for us. Thanks to all of you. I'm going to stream later tonight after the Warrior game. So check that out later on tonight, right here on the Krueger Show. Until then, we are out.
Yeah, never met a man I've been scared of. Careful, you won't get exactly what you asked for. Here for whatever you bring me, getting handled. I answer to no one, I don't need to hassle. Yeah.